Hello, trading is closed on the 20th of September, 2022. Let's do our disclaimer, go over our calls and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, September 21, 2022. Please remember I can be completely wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. We look for the pattern with the early low, tends to be a rally day, high in the final hour. Well, that's the pattern, but it's a weak example of the pattern because usually the late high is near the high of day. When it isn't, it's a negative pattern, should lead to lower prices. Now, of course, tomorrow's open can substitute for today's close. So if we gap in either direction and promptly overtake the high, all is forgiven. It's the normal bullish pattern. Otherwise, it's negative and should lead to lower prices. And the catch with that is we gap down, hit a lower low, stopped right at this green line, which is a FOMC announcement price from many months ago, and then recovered over all these lows. If that's maintained at tomorrow's open, it's a rejection of the lows. So either we gap in either direction, undercut this low fast, or we see higher prices. Those signals conflict, so we'll have to use our mixed signals rules, which we show at the end of the video. We had an idea that there was a wave count. We said it wasn't the only count, but until it was invalidated, the idea was we could have a rally up to 39.71 and then reverse. Well, we gapped down smartly at the open, according to the rule. That kills the idea before the open. And then we, as far as today was concerned, it killed the idea. And then we undercut this low, and that invalidated the count. So that idea is off the table. During the day, we're falling out of bed. Nothing seems to stop the decline. MEJT says this drop won't stick, says it'll reverse. We do, and go up over 40 handles. That's not small change. That pattern's already played out. This is a review of what we said. Tomorrow has the early low. Well, we still have this trend line we've been showing. It was invalidated slightly, but we didn't close under it, and it's not convincing enough for me. Doesn't mean we have to go up, but it's not the kind of break I'd like to see if we're going to collapse. Doesn't mean we won't. Well, if we don't stop here, and I don't have a count which says we do, this probably isn't A of 4, AB of 4. This probably was 4, we're probably in wave 5 down. And that's our target, 37.06. There may be other counts that work. Just because this one works doesn't mean others don't. I don't really have a count here which I'm happy with, period. And I certainly don't have a count which says this decline's over. That doesn't tell us anything about tomorrow, though. We use our mixed signals rules. They're right here. Tomorrow's pattern has a really low. Doesn't mean you won't gap up. We gap down, hit a lower low, closed over all the lows of the consolidation. If it's maintained at tomorrow's open, it should lead to higher prices, even if we don't close higher. If you gap and undercut today's low fast, that kills the pattern. Today's normally bullish pattern didn't close near the high. That leads to lower prices usually. If you gap and overtake the high, that kills the pattern. So these conflict, and we use these rules. Unlike yesterday, I can't find a pattern which says this leg's over. At some point, lower prices should print, and the count I'm using has us in wave 5 of C with a target near 3,700. The FOMC meeting is tomorrow. Typically leads to wild swings and moves I can't predict with a sufficient level of accuracy. I'm almost always flat going into it and for at least an hour after it. And if I miss a move, I don't care. I'd rather miss a winner than take a loser. That's just my style. I just can't predict what happens after those announcements. So we don't think the drop's over. That doesn't tell us what happens tomorrow. We have conflicting signals. The FOMC announcement usually leads to a whipsaw, and it's not the kind of thing I tend to trade because I can't predict it with my usual level of accuracy. The call for the rebound based on the wave count was invalidated. And if there's no rebound, we're still in a downtrend. That doesn't tell us about tomorrow either, but I'm not anxious to go long here. And that's today's call.